I know it's early. I am really happy to be here, and I think this is going to be a great presentation for you guys. Life Choice, just to give you a quick background on us. Does everyone know we're from Cochrane? Mm-hmm. Great, so you know we're local. And everything is formulated by our naturopathic doctor, Dr. Eldon Dahl. And he started this company because he had no products available to his patients in his practice. And he was born into naturopathy. That's all he's ever known. He thinks that's what is normal. So our entire line is non-GMO, which we're very proud of. And we don't use pesticides, herbicides, fungicides in any of our products. No sugar, no fillers, no lactose, no dairy, no gluten. We are very proud of what we call our yes-no list. And so I don't want to take up too much time because I know we need to get to our presentation. But yeah, I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Eldon Dahl.
Thank you. Good morning. Welcome. And I don't know if you're all morning people. Are we all morning people? Yes? Really? I'm not. No, I probably speak Swaziland language till about 10, but this is a great opportunity to come and train community natural foods. Rhonda does a great job to come in and do her training when she comes into the stores, and it's nice to make a connection once a year with the owner and the formulator. Were any of you at the last training that we did? Kim? I remember there was a few. I remember a fellow named David and a few others that were in attendance, and it was quite nice to see that. And it seems like the room's gotten smaller, right, than last year? Or 2 years ago? Yeah, well, it's been a while. It's been 2 years since we've trained. And to give you a background on really how I really got into this industry, I started out in natural, the natural way as a child. My mother took me to naturopathic doctors as a baby, so I was on prenatal formula naturopathic way. Raised without vaccinations by choice, all my siblings and my children also. And we went to medical doctors and naturopathic doctors. It was just, that was just normal for me. And an impact, something that really impacted my life as a young child at 10 years old, my cousin. She was 10 also. Beautiful girl, full of life. Remember, she had white skin and she had long black hair. Looked like a Sleeping Beauty, you know. And she died of cancer. And at 10, it's hard for someone to understand that. It was the first taste I had with death. And when I stood there and I seen her coffin, right away you think, well, gee, there's a lot of old people here. How come they're not in that box? You know, that's how a kid thinks. Let's go out and play, Linda, come on. But no Prince Charming to wake her up. And after that day, my life changed. I started to look at the way the body ages. I started to look at disease process, and I must have been a weird kid, you know, because as soon as I see somebody that was kind of sick, I would come up and look at them. I would look at it and say, well, what's developing? Are you dying? I just have a cough. So I was very much involved in looking at the disease process, how it starts. So kids would be reading comics, I would be in encyclopedias, looking through research journals, and trying to figure out the disease connection. Cancer was something that was really something I used to study a lot. And then how smokers would get it. A cousin got cancer from smoking in the lungs. And I'd watch that, and I'd see how people aged, and the natural aging process was fine. But when there was somebody that was healthy and then go to a disease state, that's where I started to find an interest. What made that change? And so, as the knowledge, I couldn't get enough, so I started to study herbology. Then I went into studying naturopathic medicine and graduated in 1988. When I graduated, it was, all the things that I was taught was illegal. Nothing was available to treat my patients. Here I had, at that time, when you went to a naturopath back in the early 90s, it wasn't that you went there for prevention. You went there because there was nothing else. You've exhausted everything. It wasn't your first choice. So what I had is chronic conditions. So mostly AIDS. AIDS was just breaking out at that time. We had cancer, of course, a lot of neuromuscular disorders, diabetes. People that were coming in with intravenous, with turbans on their head because their head, they had so much radiation that their skull was so thin. Sent right from the hospital, and she came right to my clinic and says, "You're my only hope." And when you see that type of a patient come to you and sit before you, you get quite emotional. I still get emotional thinking about some of my patients. And you look at them, and I do like to repeat this, and I said this to her, I says, where there's breath, there's hope. Never forget that. And so this is how I would treat the people. Then I started to search for products that I could actually help my patients with. And so then there was nothing available. Of course, in the United States, it was the Mecca, of course, like everything was legal and over the counter. Here, you became zombies as soon as you crossed the border. It wouldn't work for some reason. So I used to have to do all my own sourcing. So I started to source raw materials from all around the world, from Germany, from Italy, from the United States, and bring them all in the raw materials, and then start to compound for my patients' needs. This led to other naturopaths hearing about what I was doing, and then they started wanting some of these products. And today they are, a lot of the amino acids are quite common. Back in my day, there was no GMO at the beginning. Everything was non-GMO because it wasn't even brought out in the market. Monsanto was hardly a term that people knew. And then as it evolved, sourcing of raw materials became more critical every step of the way. And so I realized that I don't want to just produce a supplement. I want to produce something that's going to change conditions, health conditions. There's got to be nature, I believe, has a cure for everything that every disease that comes our way. Somewhere in nature there is a cure. And if you deal with products that are therapeutic, you deal with products that are of higher purity, like USP pharmaceutical grade, patented material, colloidal minerals, fermented amino acids. And if you go then, and of course now, has to be non-GMO, and has to be non-irradiated. So all these things that were not there before are now an issue. So it's become much more diligent. And I had to be more diligent. And so what I've done now is, and I don't mind going on record, that the things that I'm going to discuss today, I can vouch for everything that I'm going to say is factual. I have the scientific data to back it up. Because I am the founder and the CEO and the formulator and the raw material sourcer, I bring every raw material into my warehouse before it's manufactured. It's inspected to make sure it's the proper product that I ordered. It's sent out for testing. After it's testing, then I get the product. If it's a formulation, I put them all together, the raw ingredients, send it to the third-party manufacturer, who is GMP. Supervise that. After that's done, that product is after product tested, comes back in our warehouse. We put some in quarantine so we can inspect it at a later date. And so every step of the way we use third-party reliability, so we keep an arm's length distance. So if something is in the testing stage, it wasn't caught in the manufacturing, it's going to be picked up. So we have clarity on every step of the way, and we use the best there is. We don't compromise on the quality, because to compromise at the beginning, you'll never have the results at the end. So what we'd like to talk about today is chronic pain management without side effects. Now, pain is something that each and every one of us will experience at some stage in our life. And most treat chronic pain or pain with prescription drugs. But I'm here to say that I have a protocol that we put together in the products we'll discuss today, that we have not had one person that has not recovered from chronic pain. They've been able to either control it, or it's actually been reversed. Now, this is depending on the dosage, depending on the condition, it may take longer. I'm not saying you're going to have results within the first 30 days, but some will get relief almost instantaneously with these products. So what we're going to do is, the next slide is chronic pain relief and a natural choice. This is the national pain statistics. Now, I don't like to go right into a product and start teaching about a product without letting you know how severe the condition really is. Because when you're convinced of something, then you're concerned of something. Now, chronic pain in the United States, this was estimated back in 2010. So they're estimating that in the United States there's well over 100 million people that suffer from chronic pain. This is more than diabetes, heart disease, cancer combined, because each one of those diseases are affiliated or associated with chronic pain. Now, the total annual incremental costs for pain-related healthcare in the United States ranges from $560 to $635 billion. It's a big market, a lot of money in pain. In Canada, it's estimated that 6.8 million people, 1 out of 5, suffer from chronic pain. It's estimated that the pain-related issues ranges between 56 and 60, so basically 10% of the United States. And it's climbing. That they predict 1 out of 3. Now, to give it perspective, numbers don't seem to mean too much. So let's say you're watching the Super Bowl. 60,000 people are cram-packed into there. If it was United States people only, you would have 20,000 in that crowd would be in chronic pain. If it was Canadians, you'd have 12,000 people in that stadium would be in chronic pain. If they were seniors, Canadian seniors, living in society, you would have 36,000 of them in chronic pain. If they were in a rest home, in a care home, in that you would have them 48,000 people in that stadium would be in chronic pain. The children are not exempt. 2% of boys, 6% of girls between 12 and 17 in Canada are in chronic pain. So you can see how massive this condition is. And the treatment of choice, because they don't know any better, is prescription drugs.